Welcome to the world's most fascinating city, Istanbul, a city divided by the Bosphorus, connecting both Europe and Asia, a bridging point between East meets West, a city consisting of a kaleidoscope of various ethnic groups, home to over 10 million residents, a place where over 60 million people visit annually. Awaiting us on the coastal corridor of Ortaköy is an unexpected charm. The Büyük Mecit Mosque, otherwise known as the Ortaköy Mosque. Finished in 1855, it was first commissioned by Sultan Abdülmecid. This is the interior of the Ortaköy Cami, a stunning piece of work. You can really see the New Baroque style come into play here. You have golden hues with these marble-sized columns within the corners. You have marble pieces such as this here, which has survived an earthquake and a fire. It is one of 3 original pieces here in the mosque. The other 2 original pieces are here, from which the Imam would lead prayer or namaz. And this here, this piece is where he would give the Friday lecture and sermon. A stunning example of the New Baroque movement. This mosque is almost entirely done in marble. Now, although comparably smaller than most other mosques, this mosque seems more mature with its attention to finer detail and the natural environment. If I was the Sultan coming in, I would be coming in from the Bosphorus, up through here and through these doors. Now, I would have a separate place to make my Friday prayers or any other prayers that I would want. I would head up these stairs, into almost like a private chamber. You can smell the antiquity in here. This place has a fantastic view. If you look outside, you could see the other side, the old Istanbul. But it feels almost like a haunted house. I mean, look at the walls, construction with new. Look, the old painting with, you look like you're in a hospital. sitting here. A breathtaking view of the interior of the Jami, or the mosque. This is where the Sultan would come in from the sea, make his namaz, right here. We are at the Sultan Ahmet Meydana, where two great structures come face to face for a battle royale. In one corner, with a dome of some 33 meters in diameter, the colossal Hagia Sophia, and in the other, with 6 towering minarets, the magnificent Sultan Ahmet. Visiting Istanbul is not easy. You have the sun pounding on you, and you're walking miles and miles. It seems like, endlessly. So you have to make a stop by the Çerbisi. Ne var içecek?
Vişne suyu.
Alabilir miyim? This is called a sebeci. Ne kadar?
1 lira.
Tamam, sağ ol. And trust me, it's refreshing in the sun. Refreshing. Cool down and then start up again. One thing you have to get used to with all these great mosques are the great number of tourists here. The Sultan Ahmet Mosque, better known as the Blue Mosque, was commissioned by Sultan Ahmet himself and was built and constructed between 1609 and 1616 by Mehmet Aga. Now, up until the 19th century, this place had served as a starting point for the pilgrimage towards Mecca. In the main courtyard, there are some 26 columns, various types. Most of them are monolithic in style. However, you have some that are varied along here and there. A unique feature of this mosque is it is the only mosque to have 6 minarets, rivaling that of Mecca. Upon first entrance, we are greeted by immaculate stained glass windows, and we're approached by these massive columns. Now, these columns, they measure about 15 feet in diameter, and they display some of the finest detail common in Ottoman Islamic art. The dome inside the Blue Mosque is impressively some 23 meters in height. Look at that. And it displays some of the finest intricate details to be imagined. Now inside the inset there are the names of the 4 caliphs. And the dome itself is flanked by 4 half domes on either side. Grand mosques like this contain typical features, amenities such as kitchen halls, schools, dormices, or tombs, grand gardens, and great main courtyards, and also this, finally, our ablution place. This is the Hippodrome of Constantinople, once a horse racing track that was the sporting and social center of Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, the largest city in all of Europe. Today, it is a square named Sultan Ahmet Meydanı in the Turkish city of Istanbul. Probably the oldest adornment within the Hippodrome is the obelisk. Originally erected in Luxor during the reign of Thutmose III in 1490 BC, it was cut into 3 pieces and brought here to the Hippodrome during the reign of Theodosius II. Known as the Walled Obelisk, this structure was built in the 10th century. Originally it was covered with cast-gilded bronze plaques, but they were stolen during the 4th Crusade. All that remains here is this and the marble foundation. The German fountain, otherwise known as the Kaiser Wilhelm Fountain, was donated to the Ottoman Empire in 1900 after the German Emperor's visit to Istanbul in 1898, featuring an octagonal dome and a new Byzantine style. A short stroll down a back alley road will lead us to Arasta Bazaar, located directly behind Sultan Ahmet Mosque. Rent from the shops within bazaars like this were used for the upkeeping of mosque. Therefore, situated next to mosque and behind mosque, you have bazaars, like this one, the Arasta Bazaar. Every bazaar has a specialty. This one here is with handicrafts, be it pottery, rugs, or even imported trade from Central Asia. You can't have the blue mosque without Iznik tiles. Unlike most other bazaars, this one is relatively tourist-free. You don't have the large crowds that you do in other bazaars found in Istanbul or in Bursa or any other city, which is good. Yeah, there's elbow room. And don't forget, there's always room to negotiate the price. And of course, what's the Blue Mosque without the famous Iznik tiles? Solomon the Magnificent had ordered a mosque appropriate to his title to be constructed. Requiring the best of architectural talent, he had commissioned Sinan to begin building on one of the hills dominating the Golden Horn. Solomon I is the longest-serving Ottoman Sultan, reigning from 1520 to 1566, nearly 50 years, and in that time, the Ottoman Empire had reached its peak and became a world power, with the Sultan becoming a preeminent ruler. Suleiman's many achievements had led his European counterparts and fellow countrymen to honor him as the respected rival of Europe, the lawgiver, the poet, and the philanthropist, and in Western eyes, as the Magnificent. Vaulted ceilings stretch in archways with open spaces borrowed directly from the Hagia Sophia, but it creates an originality in its renderings of infinity and belief. One of the most prominent features of the mosque are its stained glass windows. With subtle glares of light hidden in it, it creates a mesmerizing effect, emphasizing the rich detail found inside. The completion of his masterpiece, Sinan had demonstrated the transformation of the Hagia Sophia plan, from which he had gotten his inspiration. The dome is buttressed by 2 half domes and 2 tympanum walls on the other side. It's difficult not to take notice of the 4 massive square columns on each corner of the dome. Here lies one of the world's most famous love stories, with the tombs of Sultan Soleimania and his lovely bride, the slave Roxolana. By accepting the slave Roxolana as his wife, Sultan Suleiman had defied tradition. A prominent feature of the tombs here, and also of the Imperial Mosque, are the stained glass windows. Conjoined virtually to every mosque, graveyards are typically located on the anterior side of the mosque, serving as a reminder to the parish that death awaits them. This narrow place that we're climbing up is one of the minarets. It's one of the taller ones. This is why I'm out of breath. So thank the cameraman for me climbing up way up here. The mosque is supplemented by neighboring structures of houses, infirmaries, medical schools, schools of thought, hammams, the list goes on. The number of minarets in the courtyard signify Suleiman's position as the 4th ruler from Istanbul, while the number of balconies, 10 in total, indicate that he had served as the 10th sultan since the reign of Osman. The Hagia Sophia is the greatest surviving example of Byzantine architecture. Of the greatest importance is its decorated interior. To get a better idea of what it would have looked like in its Byzantine heyday, imagine an embellished interior shimmering from 4 acres of golden tiled mosaics from the ceiling, richly hued marble floors, columns, and walls. apse of the church behind me is the most inspiring area, with a semi-dome structure above that exhibits the oldest of the surviving mosaics, the enthroned Virgin with Child. With the images of human forms being considered blasphemous in certain Islamic factions, the mosaics were plastered over in the 16th century. But the Ottomans had enough foresight to unplaster them, maintain them, and replaster them in order to preserve them, like this one behind me. Mihrab, the richly decorated concave structure behind me, was built during the time of Mehmet II and lies in the easternmost part of the apse, while a mimbar, the place where the imam would give the Friday sermon, is situated to the right of it. With the Latin occupation in the 13th century, the Hagia Sophia was converted into a Roman cathedral, and much of its glitter and gold was mercilessly stripped in one of the most awesome plunders since the creation of the world.